do it, and now they're in this Pacific roster.
Yeah, it definitely feels that way. Again, when you're looking for an IGL, you've got Cupid Valorant as well. I know had trials for a lot of different teams at this level, and he's ended up on that stage, maybe where he belongs. We'll see. It's been a long grind, and for some of these players, a chance to prove themselves. Seven, who we haven't touched base on, was chatting to the Spanish streamer and caster Ulysses. He told me that Seven's going to be the biggest surprise of the year for me. So I'm very excited to see what he can deliver as a man who's managed to deliver on many different roles in the past. BBL leveling it up here and movement towards this B site. Valorant and Seven with a lot of pressure on their shoulders.
This is where we'll almost get to test the individual brilliance of some of the players on the other side. An opportunity for Valorant, but can only get the one. Already a 3 versus 2, and the thing I'm worried about in this series for Pacific is if BBL get going, the steamroll can begin. Cupid, though, has already managed to turn this back into a 2v2 scenario, and they do have themselves a chance.
An opportunity. You got to flush out those players, though. BBL looking to swing together. It's going to be Lloyd up. Point of contact on back pillar. Up goes Rose to help out from the side. He's isolated in the fight, though, and it comes down to the one-on-one. Lloyd up. Oh, the flick is sublime. It will be the round going to BBL. A narrow margin for victory, but a 1-0 start nonetheless. It's hard to sort of come in here with any understanding of what that means, you know, in terms of like, is this comp going to be better? Okay, first of all, is Breeze going to be attacker defender sided in general? And then with these comps in play, I can see strengths and weaknesses for them both. A lot of unanswered questions in the first few rounds, but I'm excited to find out how it's going to play out.
I would look at BBL and go, these feel like comfort choices. Like, I would happily see Kreven play a Sentinel every single map, but Sentinels have kind of taken a hit. Like, that's been one of the major changes coming in, is that a lot of that utility takes a long, long time to refresh and can be a lot easier even if you get caught by it. So a lot of people have opted to shift away, and that's like a double controller. Makes a lot of sense in this meta. However, for someone like Kreven, I think that does make a lot of sense because he's fantastic individually. For Pacific, I feel like the composition they're running could end up as a meta-esque comp. But we're still, the jury's still out on that one as of just yet.
Yeah, there's a lot more data to be mulled over before we get to that stage, to those conclusions. For Lover's Rock, a little bit risky, but he's got players with their back turned. After one, get a little bit more difficult. Potentially look to isolate him, but getting to him means crossing the whole rest of the squad. BBL just taking those ranged fights. It's worked wonderfully to start. The name of the game here is surviving with all of their players, right? They've made a lot of investments. You lose Lover's Rock, it's not the end of the world, but from then on, the losses really start to add up.
Ooh, nice shot.
There's the first pick already for Pacific.
Yeah, it's a little bit of extra damage, but more importantly for Seven, it's an opportunity to get ultimate orbs, which we already know how impactful that your ult can be, especially even though I feel like a lot of the rotations have become a little bit easier on this map, with mid being more of an option without just having to face an operator every single time. It's still one of those things where on this map, the rotation to the A side, to the B side takes quite a while. You need that info early, and that ultimate could be very high impact if you can get it on early. The problem, though, is the same can be said on the other side. Lover's Rock is someone who is going to be looking to build up as many orbs as humanly possible. And I'll be honest, I still feel like there's been a lot of talk about, especially Lorok and Loiter in this team. I think Lover's Rock is pretty underrated. In his Ascension final performance, dude was insane, and he was playing with an injured finger the entire time.
Yeah.
And it was his click finger.
I remember you describing the severity of that injury, and I really wish you didn't.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that, bro.
Please don't.
It's not safe for work, I don't think.
No one wants to hear that. Nice shot! Lorok's just running it down. Out on mid. This is a round where they should be coming in with weaknesses, but the advantage already sits with the attackers. An early play by Seven, though, to close in that distance on mids, putting the pressure on. It's forcing Lorok to, well, I would have thought go to side. He just tucks in. Yeah. He's holding that door angle and not being forced out into the majority of players. And he's going to be really hard to root from that position. A thorn in the side of Pacific's retake.
Yeah, they have to get him out of here. They can't just allow him to stick in the backline. It also stops Valorant from being able to rotate. So they're having to send a lot of players just to try and clear him, and eventually they do. Cupid will be the one to find the frag, but there are still 4 more players on the other side sitting pretty. Kreven just stepping up with a double, and it's not getting any better. Valorant, the last standing, and the other two, look how far away they are. There's a lineup surely flying in. Shot starts going. That may have even missed slightly, but it doesn't matter. Time was already gone. Valorant knew it, and that's BBL 3-0 up on the attack.
Now, very strong start indeed. Again, no telling how it'll change when we swap over, but honestly, looking at the current trajectory, I think we can say if BBL do push up to that 7-8 round mark, foundations are set. They're laid for them. I do think on the attack side though here, now I'm thinking about it more. Maybe I even expect them to do better on the defense.
Oh, you're really selling the hope for Pacific here.
Yeah. So now I'm getting very worried, and I think they are too. We've already got a timeout called for Pacific down on that stage.
Yeah.
Again, you know,
other people to try and replace them. They are sat there going, oh, we're winning this game. From what we heard about the skirmish, that they were confident they'd beat anybody that was thrown in, and even surprised when Seedhead wasn't in. They're like, oh, okay, it'll be even easier than we thought.
Feeling area.
So you don't want to play this team because they are prepared, like LaRock did in the last round, to just run it down mid, insta-headshot you and go, right, now what you're going to do.
It is very early days, but you just think about that team for BBL who's already playing with so much confidence from the very get-go. And if they manage to have a dominant first map, their pick here on Breeze, it's going to be a real uphill battle. And I think for that defensive side, that timeout won't have been to win this round. They're probably going to be battling back from 4-0 down.
Yeah, they also have to change nothing in terms of synergy. This is the same team they played last year with. So it's a complete opposite for Pacific, who everything is new.
Yeah.
I like what they're doing here as well. Even though they're up against the Eco, sending Kraven to the other side, seeing...
They're in the stack.
If we push one side of the map, do they get aggressive? No. Okay. What are they doing? They're rotating past it. They're giving us space, so Kraven takes it. He's now walked out on the A site. Despite losing the initial fight on B, it dragged the rotates. It left it wide open. The question is, can Cooper get anything done?
He's been baited around. He's been baited by the clone.
30 seconds left.
Yeah.
That's why his heart's going on that angle. He's like, there's a guy here. I heard him. He was stepping, and then he stopped.
Spike
and that's what a
planted.
real person would do. It's not a real person.
Nice shot by 7. That weapon could be retrieved. The wall from the attackers even gets them in closer. Now there's a rifle on Cooper, one on Alorante, a chance to take these battles and close to even footing. Lloyd is looking the wrong way. The flash is good. Cooper spots him, sprays, lands the kill. Down goes Kraven, and it's Rose. The shock dart. It gets him the first. The smoke about to fade. The shot needs to be clean, and it's right to the head. Cooper.
He's got all.
It's a body shot needed and found by Rose to close out the round. A Red Bull clutch keeps BBL with a flawless record on this map.
It's always funny because you have someone like Rose where the sort of criticism of him is like, oh, he's not going to put up the numbers.
He can IGL real good, but he can't shoot.
He's currently top of the board, 5-on-1, just clutching a 1v2 to start out the game. There's so much depth within this roster. And
1v3, wasn't it? Shock Dart got the first.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go, 1v3. First one he didn't see, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, it's not a real kill.
But he is going to be the guy looking across the stage, standing up, like, no matter what. 4-0. This is where the rifles come back in. A decent amount of damage at least, but the economy's still good. That's a better start at least, but it's a quick pace take. And Hunter's Fury attempted to be used.
Spike planted.
Seven's gone quite aggressive though with this ult.
Oh, he's looking for it. That has the TP out of there. And the problem is he's on the other side of the map. It's going to cost so much time bleeding from the clock. But Cooper has come up behind. He's thread the needle. They thought it was clear because they pushed 7 back, but now they're going to deal with the leader. He's found himself 2, and that could give them the foothold. Another traded out as Rose is alone in the same spot as before. A 1v3, his first found, but the decoy absorbs the bullet. 7. With that kill, puts the first round on the board for Pacific.
An important one at that. It definitely looked like they were beginning to get into the stages of potentially being steamrolled just because that clutch and then the fast-paced take attempted once again, but they've been able to get a lot of space, sort of sneaking their way through mid. I like the fact that Pacific are definitely not shying away from a fight. I think that's where you would just say, okay, this is over. If they're playing passive the entire time, but that's now, I think, a second time that Cupid's managed to get up behind them.
Yeah, and a lot of that, again, comes from the fact that 7 is selling that ruse. And once he TPs away, they think, okay, we've dealt with the flank problem. But no, there's a second layer to it. Very nicely done. Much more needed, though. Is that a blip on the radar for BBL? Will they be right back to winning ways? Of course, they've got the credits to invest here. Might not be the case for the next, but with a Viper's Pit, Pacific don't really have a lot to fight into that pit. And especially with using the drone early on.
And Paranoia.
And Paranoia, yeah, you're really running out of options if BBL get boots on the ground.
Yeah,
Portal
Viper's
closed.
Pit would be scary.
Especially with that off on Cena.
Aggressive position. That's a bit of a risk from Cupid. Maybe just trying to take contact to give 7 that little bit of extra space. Cena getting aggressive. It's an opportunity, but a missed shot. 7, though, not missing. Continuing what has been a very strong start to this game and manages to escape. It will allow for a post plant, but look at 2 players. They're quite far away. It's very deep lurks. And a lot of time will need to be bought by those players within the site.
What's Kreven going to do with this? Right now, he's waiting for that rotate from B. In a couple seconds, he'll realize it's not coming, and either goes to the door or plays that flank, and it will be towards the door. The position of the plant, though, is important to think about.
He just ran out onto the site and Viper's Pit from far away.
Getting that defuse is difficult, but now getting into the pit and the defuse, this is going to be a real challenge for Pacific. Wrapping around, they've got players at every angle. Wide swing from Laurent. That's a little crazy. All they need to do is run that clock down. Kreven does well to find 1, and it's Rose! 6 HP! He's made it around the corner! He's bought them time, and time enough! Another clutch for the IGL on BBL! The man everybody doubts his individual ability, but by God, he's got it in droves today!
No, that's what it is. The other players carried in the tier 2. Rose carries when he gets to the tier 1. He was saving it. That's the thing, he was just warming up all of that time. What an insane double Rose. The worst thing is Valorant runs into the pit, gets rid of it immediately, and it's almost like a sneaky reveal. It's like him coming out of the coffin, like the Undertaker, just like, you thought I was dead. It's insane. 5 and 1. 2 of those rounds have been clutched out by Rose, and oh, it was very nearly an attempt at a third, just a round ago. And that's done a lot of damage to the economy. 7 has definitely been a bright spark, though, and him having a rifle at least gives some hope that they could do some damage in this round.
It is wild that 50% of these rounds so far have been Rose clutches, and only one of them was an attempt. So, fair play. The guy is 9 and 3 at the moment. BBL sky high in terms of morale, and that round, you know, not only is it important for BBL, for confidence, for Rose, yada yada, but it was a big round for Pacific. Put the credits into it. We're left now with pistols, who are taken down easily by a body shot from an outlaw. Alorante has a chance for a kill here, but Laroc's come to the rescue. And we might actually get off without a hitch here for BBL. Nobody going down. A big moneymaker round on the cards. And Cupid's not got his hand on his mouse, but he is tucked in a corner, so it's okay.
I think they're using this as almost like a mini tactical pause.
Yep.
Like, I might as well just use the time that you've got. You're not winning this round. Maybe he can get an exit or 2, but if he has his ult, it really doesn't matter that much. And well, he's not going to do that much damage to the economy. In fact, they're just going to send out players to try and build up some of those orbs. And Cupid just isn't moving.
It's fine if Jack gets this. The Blade Storm, but
he actually dives around to give it. That's a good teammate. That is a good teammate.
Oh, that's really nice. Because obviously if he gets the kill, it doesn't matter. He's already activated his Blade Storm, so give it to a buddy instead. What a considerate teammate.
Yeah, and in-zone flawless as well. This is the thing. Like, a lot of the rounds had at least close aspects, but BBL were always building up at economy. 6-1 into the lead, and then you get an in-zone flawless round. And they're having fun while they do it.
I don't think I've seen Rose laugh like that in a long time. He feels, it looks like there's no pressure. He is just having fun with his buddies down on that stage and 6-1 up. No surprise. We don't know how they'll deal with a loss. We haven't got to see it all too much so far. CNET doing well. That's Kreven down early on and another on that mid push. Spike down, as you said, in an unusual position, but that's actually the least of their problems. It's a 2v5 now. Pacific, they found their mojo in this round. CNET certainly did with that aggressive off.
Yeah, it's kind of what you want to see from CNET and the operator. Like, he can take so much space off the back of the waylay and just fall back with no real risk behind it, but thus far he's been caught. Kreven's definitely been having a bit of a rougher time. I think they've done very well at isolating that lurking Sentinel in the majority of rounds. It's just, unfortunately, it's been the main hit that they've struggled to deal with. And more importantly, Rose, and he is still alive, although this one should be impossible.
Well, if we clutch this one up, I think he's going to be in the conversation for MVP of Kickoff already.
Not ready yet.
Should be impossible.
Hey, Mr. Fallen got an ace. He's now carrying.
Frenzy ace,
Is this a new wave.
30
the Turkish
seconds left.
IGL.
The
although,
age.
although hopefully for BBL they won't be getting the same result.
It very much is the age of the leader, the in-game leader, not the coach.
Ah, yes.
Not to say, you know, maybe it is his age. I don't know. I don't make that call.
Yeah. They have the leader and the thinky.
They do. They do. The thinky in the brain is no more. It's been taken away. Lovers Rock. It's got to do so much work if they're to have a chance, and with nothing there, I'm going to make a bold prediction that Rose hasn't got this. Nice shot to start. He's on the other side of the wall, but yeah, going back through there ain't going to be a walk in the park. A second found for Pacific. Good work. But they got to climb right back into this, and the question that we don't know the answer to is 6 already enough for BBL? I don't know.
Yeah, it's difficult to say because like they've obviously still got themselves the Senti Viper, which has always been pretty good on the defensive side, and then this sort of double duelist with the potential for, well, especially Lovers Rock to play the operator, but LaRock isn't a slouch at anything. Like, if you've seen him play before, you know he could pick that up if necessary. I am going to be looking, though, especially on the attack side, how they're setting up 7, because so far he has been excellent. Obviously, the guy coming over from TSM with a fair few years under his belt in Americas. That TSM roster last year, obviously led by MBS, it was a banger of a team.
I think got a lot of praise for his work within that as well. A lot of eyes on him. Ninja's already down to start this one out. Valorant caught in no man's land, surrounded and dropped at 2 versus 3. Shot through the smoke, brings him right back into it. It's CNET and Cupid. The off. As the smoke fades, those players have made it into safety. And this ult's not going to be easy. We can see, even if he gets it onto one player, which is a game of battleships at best, still going to be another with gun up, ready to fight. You've got post-plant Hunter's Fury to worry about. That's why Cooper goes around towards main. That cleared out. You know they're on site. They're not playing for the ults unless they're in the spawn, so you'll clear that angle out. But he's being caught. Did he get caught by his own ulti? I'm pretty sure he did. Oh, CNET, you silly goose. Cupert's alone now, trying to clutch it out. He's found his first. But the creep around might just catch him. Big swing from Rose, and another round for the IGL of BBL. That could have been so much different, though. If I hope I'm wrong, but I really think he stepped into his ult. He's done a governor, Tom.
I also don't think that ult reaches the back corner. I don't think it goes far enough. So I don't know. I don't know if Rose was even caught by it. Maybe he dodged it just to.
Oh no!
Yeah, like Rose is just shooting like normal. He's definitely not been slowed.
Yeah.
So he wasn't hit by the ult.
Yeah, I think you could sidestep it though. No, it was a little to the right. It covered like the whole back lane, but not, I guess, around the corner. Unlucky. Nice try, but the rounds keep adding up for that attack side. And hell, if 6 wasn't enough, maybe 7 is. Maybe 8 will be. Because it seems tough to stop them, and with the weaponry Pacific are bringing into play, I think an 8th round is on the cards. Now, the first pick has gone their way. It's the only real weapon they have. The decisive lack of the Bandit being brought through for Pacific. They're very much rather in the Sheriff, and with so many long-range angles, even that little 145, I understand why.
It's a decent start to a round that they don't have a lot to play with. 7's ult could see some value. Of course, with the Cypher still alive, having someone lurking through mid wouldn't be a massive surprise. They do need to clear out CNET, and that's exactly what they do. And while Ninja trying to trade with a classic, it never really seemed like it was going to work out. And for 7, well, nothing's really gone well. It is clean as can be. Every fight going the way of BBL.
Poison's off.
Valorant, he's known for
30 seconds
his
left.
headshot ability. Having a Guardian, but realistically, the post-plant clutches from Rose alone has been very good. And there's 3 other players.
Genuinely seems to be an impossible task for the Hunter's Fury to fall back on. Even if he hits 3 crazy shots, this one should be going to Rose. His clutch percentage has been pretty solid. The question of damage doesn't even come into the conversation as LaRock quickly puts a pin in that round. 8-2 now for BBL. It is round after round success. An odd blip here or there, a flash in the pan from Pacific, but They are quickly finding that flame extinguished. And I mean,
Guardian?
there's always the rest of the veto to go to. You've got Abyss specifics map. They'll feel more comfortable there. That's great. But those silver linings are looking a little bit gray, a little bit dull at the moment, because pound for pound, BBL, they are leading. Rose is leading, for God's sake, by a long shot.
Yep. Quick push once again. 7 already forced back, and half the time they're not even taking the spike with them for these early fights.
Jeez.
It's a IGL and IGL, and one of them's winning. That's a gamble and a half. I guess they're at a point of no return where 7's running through a snake bite to try and catch people off guard. It's not gone well. Valorant, there's just so many players appearing in front of his eyes that... yeah, I think CNEB might save.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you see a move and you think, ooh, that was a little bit of a bold maneuver.
Yeah.
That was a little bit risky, but I do understand here. It comes from not a place of calculation, but a place of desperation.
Yeah.
Nothing's working, for God's sake. Run through a snake bite, see if you can catch him off guard. When all the picks are going elsewhere, when the fight in main's being lost up against Rose, when, Christ, it seems like Rose is the next the next IGL duelist, perhaps.
The thing is, right, if you're only getting headshotted anyway, then if you're vulnerable, it doesn't matter.
Just don't buy shields.
Exactly.
If you're
vulnerable and slightly low from a snake bite, it doesn't matter because you're getting headshotted.
Exactly.
That's another end zone flawless, by the way. Not one that was specifically necessary for BBL. Their credits are through the roof, and they are 9-2 in the lead. You were asking the question throughout the majority of the half is, will 5 be enough or 6 be enough? I think 9 might be enough.
What about 10? How do you feel about that?
I'd say that's an even better number than 9. It's a good number.
I actually know I don't have the math. I can't show my workings on this, right? But I have a feeling that you actually have a better chance to win with 10 than with 9.
Well, Hunter's Fury, that's already a tag. Oh, there's no escape. Cupid, that's another battle versus Rose. Not a fair one, but he's lost it. That's already, the IGL started this game quite well, but it seems like his opponent has just started to level up and up and up. They're trying to deal with Rose, and they have 2 quick kills back. The double. Hello, Loiter. I think he just got so used to being able to run around the map with nobody killing him that he just forgot that he had to shoot his gun.
It kind of actually looked like what I just saw.
Wait, Rose, you haven't killed 4 already?
It's the same towards A main. 2 players go out, took in those corners.
Well, they've seen them.
And it seems a little bit disconnected from BBL. 9-2 up, getting a little bit cocky, feeling it.
Here.
They've been punished. Okay, sure. But a 9-3 scoreline ain't going to be the end of the world. They don't have their big clutcher online for BBL, so without Rose, I think that this should be Pacific.
They've only got Lovers Rock and Kraven, and you know, Lovers Rock only like top frag the Ascension Grand Finals, so washed.
30 seconds left.
Lovers Rock has also been revealed, so for Ninja, he's not been having a great time, but it's... Did he fall asleep at the wheel? He
really
must have thought that was a clone.
He is. Oh, yeah. Oh, the sidestepping clone, Tom.
I don't know what he thought, but why did he just stand there like he disconnected in real life?
How did he go?
Oh, this is possible. This is possible.
Please,
See, that's a clone. And then there you go. 7's managed to get past, TP it in. An opportunity, but 7 will close out the round. It got a little bit messy. It got a little bit shaky, but they managed to get to 3. 9-3 curses on. Mitch, are you ready for the comeback?
He's out here to give me a heart attack, Tom. I don't know what that TP was. I'm so ready for a comeback, though. Defensive side. Oh, it wasn't too kind to Pacific, but now we're talking about double dive, double smokes. It's a different idea. Let's see if it works after the break.
One enemy remaining.
Time to jump.
Your body knows.
Scoreline, as you can see from those stats, but he's having a worldie of a game. Now I want to look at Cupid for a different reason. Like, his calling here is going to be important. He can lead
Cutting through.
in terms of the calls. He can let them know where they're going. He can set up the ideas and hopefully start things off well.
Well, there's Rose in the ground already. Valorant with another.
Crispy.
For Pacific, 2 opening picks. Time to group up, take a site, avoid giving BBL those individual duels because it can be a slippery slope, especially on a pistol. With Ghosts on the other side for Loida and Lovers Rock, a challenge rounding that corner. Loida able to at least deal some damage. Set Lovers Rock up for a fight, but nothing's going their way on BBL.
Toxin screen down.
Is Rock only able to get one? They don't even have to necessarily push this way, especially with Valorant already clearing those back lines. Timing's not great, but
Last
Preben
player standing.
clearly not expecting anybody to be there, not ready for the fight. It will now leave Loiter in a 1v4 scenario, and CNED is waiting patiently. Does he check? Does he check? But he's not checking the box.
Spike planted.
No!
CNED!
CNED, he's a young
Don't do
Turkish
it!
player. Oh, he missed! He missed! You got what you deserve, CNED! Oh, no one's going to clip that. No one's clipping that. Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
At least he's got a smile on his face.
Hey, you know.
They won the round still. It's okay.
We've seen... We've seen Wisp in our time.
That made me so happy, Tom. Get exactly what you deserve. Oh my goodness.
It genuinely is. It's like the new kid coming back to the league, and CNED's like, "Oh shit, I'll show you who's boss." Be careful, Thinky. You might go back off the chair if you swing any harder.
Oh, well, that's a little bit of an energy injection for Pacific. A 4th round found now as well, and it's time to keep on adding those up. For BBL, left with classics. This should be where Pacific, correct me if I'm wrong, for the first time chained together a round. It's just been one here or there so far, if I'm not mistaken.
Kind of hope you're wrong, but I think you might be right.
I think I'm spot on. A chance for them to correct how things have gone, I think, so far.
Hey, if not, it's a great advertisement for the BBL bundle. That's all I'll say, because there are only classics invested. There is nothing else. So, realistically, you should be correct.
That's a really nice skin. I like that.
I'm always a fan of purple and gold. It's just it's a banger combo. We have not been paid by BBL to say that. Wish we had.
You know what? They have my number, so I have their jersey. This is I'm not sure I like this. CNED's walking in with an outlaw in hand into the middle of sight, so he's surrounded by the maximum number of angles. But that means the maximum number of orbs for him to acquire.
He's just flexing on him.
It makes sense. That was a really risky entry to sight, solo through mid, but fair enough.
You know, he's like it's like Michael Jordan in his later years. You got to show these kids who's boss. Like, he's the Michael Jordan of Turkish Valorant.
I don't know anything about basketball, but I'm sure that makes a lot of sense.
Michael Jordan is very good.
I know that. LeBron James, Michael Jordan, very good.
Very good.
That's all I know. And
do you think it's Scottie Pippen?
Cool shoes. Mate, his free throws. Is he also a basketball player?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I didn't just name another sport.
I thought you might have been catching me off.
Maybe. You know.
Yeah, I'm wise to your tricks.
It's not the papaya all over again.
Well,
when you said you're a big McLaren.
Listen, not very well versed. If it's not played on a computer, I don't know what's happening. Most of the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Tends to be how it works, and half the time I don't know what's happening on the computer either.
Or unless it's an Irish sport. That is one hell of a start. CNED tried to knife him, so he's just wrecked him through a wall and through a smoke at the beginning of the round. Showing Unk who's boss. I like how Unk is only like 24 as well. Either way, trying to put some pressure onto the players on the side. But this crossfire of Lorok and Loiter is a fearsome one to try and deal with. Loiter taking the majority of the contact, and they know that he is here. That doesn't matter though. This is the youngsters we were talking about. How has he not died? He was in his drone. That's the Rose that we normally see. Rose in his drone gets swung, still survive because some 18-year-old has shot him in the head.
Yeah, that was remarkable stuff for BBL, and I think compounding on what we talked about earlier. Oh no, bro. When he's laughing like that, when he's screaming across the stage.
Laugh. That's outrageous.
Oh, it's got to feel bad to sit across from that. So Pacific, they managed to chain 2 in a row, and that's where the streak ended. Now for BBL.
He's doing the same spam
right
through the box every round.
Built Cena at the start of last round. Yeah, I'll do that spam every time I play this map now. A nice little early opening. So it looks like Pacific, like they're going back to just mid control. Fighting those choke points isn't working towards B main, or towards A main. Sorry. And B's never going to be a fun one. That mid-split, it worked out. They got a lot of control. CNED was able to walk into the site, but this time, there's an off-wait for them.
This is where Lover's Rock is really hard to deal with. He's good at sort of taking those initial fights, and as you can see, immediately falling back. He has no level of greed to his gameplay, which as a Yoru player is the most irritating thing to fight against, because he's just going to keep repositioning every time he fires a shot. On the other side of things, they are at least going to be able to get some space in towards that site. Hunter's Fury being utilized, but as of yet hasn't connected, and now the full force of this defense has started to take back control.
Oh, the jump up from Cupid's good. He hasn't managed to spot Rose tucked in on that corner. And Rose strikes now, dropping Ninja. Dealing a bit of damage to Cupid as well, the 2 versus 3. Pacific, no plant found just yet. And as they attempt it, it'll be forcing it 1vx. It's not going to be an easy duel. And as time ticks on, that flank is coming through from Loida, making a difficult situation all the more challenging. A 3K from Cooper, but the spike needs to be planted, and now it's on the floor. 10 seconds, and no one to cover as the plan's coming in. Valorant has to be lucky to avoid the spams. He's on 19 HP, but still alive. Given a chance. Losing here, it sends BBL straight to the home stretch, a chance to close out this map and start the series off with confidence. But a few well-placed shots could buy Pacific a much-needed chance. It all comes down to the timing. Lloyd is just about to round that corner. Valorant needs to be quick, but Loida gets there first.
Difficult clutch to win with the amount of damage that was already taken, and the quick rotations from BBL made it almost impossible. The thing that was a little bit peculiar though was it feels like the 2 players on site knew the Rose was in that corner. They were literally full spamming that wall, and then Ninja walks out main completely unaware. That's the bit that threw me off. It does feel like maybe there's just a piece or two missing in terms of communication, because I feel like that was a free kill for him. If the guy spamming the wall goes, I think he's behind the wall I'm spamming.
Away from.
I think he just doesn't like any bugs.
I like some bugs.
I've watched you run into the road.
Bite or pinch me.
Oh, I think that's all bugs.
Then I don't like any bugs, yeah. The teethless ones.
I like the friendly one.
Yeah.
Maybe butterflies.
They're all right. Pacific, this is it. Credits put on the line. BBL set to take 12 if they win this. Kreven up close, the man we just highlighted. We heard from him. Now it's time to see him play the game, wrapping around through those smokes. Through the orb comes Kreven, dealing and dishing out death. But it's only the double.
Decent trade.
Pacific managed to trade this back and get a plant and get the Cosmic Divide up so they can fall back to main. They can get post-plant positions. That's a great recovery.
Right here.
That divide has bought plenty of time for them to reposition as well, so any ideas that were there are gone, but that's a nice bait and switch. Valorant in the corner, not a lot of places he can go, but the crossfire, Ninja is well aware. It's left onto Loiter again though. 18 and 8, he's moved to the top of the board on this defensive side, has been fantastic in the clutch, but he looks the wrong way. This time, Ninja is well aware, and a big recovery round from him.
I think a big recovery half as well. Like he was like 2 and 9, something like that, having a really, really rough game. And now he's got himself back up to sort of the bottom end of the scoreboard. He's playing a decent game, which means this half so far has been night and day compared to what we saw before. Working really well with Valorant there. I don't know what was happening to Valorant. He was trying to pop that smoke for a few seconds. I was getting worried. But he got it back in the end.
He's used to, you know, he's used to the Cypher way. You can just look at the floor and step off. It's like a little bit easier.
Well, 11-6. Disaster averted, but another one on the horizon. BBL have bought up the op on Lover's Rock. A nightmare to deal with at the best of times.
Yeah, he's pushing further and further down as well, knowing that he can just take that shot and get out of there. If there is anybody around here, and there you go. Look, immediately, straight back to site. He's gone. Like, there's no way you can now hunt him down. That's what makes him so irritating. They're re-pushing it, though, re-clearing it. In fact, even spotting the TP out, but Seven's got a freebie. And actually, again, Pacific have been able to turn this. Still got to deal with a couple of these players. Loiter up close, might not expect the player in main, but after a shot is missed. Oh, he's gone into the drone, but Valorant is covering, holding for his teammate. Now that operator rotates back into position. Rose once again, but it's left onto the op, and a mistake made with the spike down and a swing out. It will be 7 to close. A back and forth all the way through. But it is Pacific to win the round.
Considering how this started out with BBL looking incredibly dominant, that scoreline's going to start to get pretty concerning pretty
Yeah.
soon. It's closing in. Pacific looked like they found their mice.
A.
Players who were not hitting even the easy kills are now all of a sudden starting to play the game. Everyone's online.
Try and run into main to fight the player who was using a drone, gets caught from mid. Like, they almost feel unaware of other angles that they could be open to because they're so fixated on getting the kills. And I think that might be something that the coach, Key, has just got to go, yeah, we need to stop doing that.
Well, back in, this is a round that still has some promise. I mean, even if you look at the weapons they have, but the fact that Larocque's popped the Blade Storm too, Pacific have to be cautious. And I love how cautious they're being. They know they're coming up against a mixed buy. They know there's a Blade Storm. And so they spread out. Play down to a minute 10 as a default. Not just a default, but a default on range. That's what they're avoiding. They're avoiding that flash that could come around any corner and have a Blade Storm follow it up, a free kill and a dash out. They don't want to give those chances, so they play outside of main. They play in their spawn practically.
And now they've heard that flash go off, they reclaim the space. They're going back in to basically face off a spot that their opponents have cleared. So it leaves Larocque on an island. Okay, there will be a TP across the map eventually that could help him out, but I don't think there's any way that he can really hold this down without just hitting clip of the day.
And it's this mid layer to it as well from Pacific that's going to be so difficult to deal with. CNED, not the weapon I'd want, the Outlaw
30
deep in
seconds
spawn
left.
like that, but he's going to have the task of cutting off those rotations. Again, just not the weapon for it. Let's see how much he can get done, but Alorante already finding one. CNED misses the shots, has to go to the pistol. Even lands a 140 onto Lover's Rock, but those shields keeping him alive. Thing is, though, retaking from here, even with the Outlaw in hand. 3 full shields on the other side, no easy fight.
Enemy remaining.
And Pacific, well, it's Alorante making it look easy, robbed of the ace, but his work is very much done. Pacific closing that gap into 3. But as we said, BBL, there was promise, there were chances, there were dangers. This is the buy, though.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see Alorante, the German in the league, come in and get an ace on his debut. For the team and in VCT EMEA. It was very close. Loiter spoiled it, unfortunately, but he's definitely playing well. And that was the thing. Like, we know this guy for his Sentinel play. He's definitely been like sort of flexing a bit here and there with the smokes as well, but there's always been one thing that isn't in question, which is that aim. He's always had that in his locker. And especially to show him versus BBL is a good sign, but it's whether or not they can bring this any further already. That is a huge combo, but Larocque managed to dodge it.
Alorante's here to pick up the pieces, though, as Loiter goes down. Robbed of the ace in the previous round, but Alorante's back for vengeance. He's taken down Kreven, but much more needed, as Alorante on 30 health has only got Cupid by his side, but now the A site taken. A nice shot onto Larocque, a sneaky play through, gets the plant in favor of Pacific, but Lover's Rock with that op. He just needs to find Cupid, and the second kill would be so easy, but what an uncomfortable angle to try to take this fight. But Cupid hiding inside that smoke, ships in the 90s, cross past him, and it's even Alorante to take the kill in the end, his 3rd of the round. Some big performances now the past 2 from him, and that's put Pacific to a gap of 2. They are now hot on BBL's heels, and a team that looked set to take this with flying colors now finds themselves under threat.
Yeah, I definitely think you can see as well that
Let's go! Vamos!
the problems that are sort of there with dealing with all of these smokes. Like the amount of space that Cupid was able to get. Like Larocque was doing an incredible job. 3 kills off the back of just individual brilliance, but then Cupid's just stood in a spot he never expected. Like they are struggling versus this double controller on the attack side. And yeah, what we kind of expected to be a dominant victory. Maybe what even should have been a 10-2 half. But now, since then, they've managed just a couple of rounds. And in this one, at least, not a mass to play with again. You've got a solo rifle picked up, a bandit put into the hands of Loiter. He's one away from having his ultimate online, which would definitely help out a little bit with the spam. It's looking like a B site execute here. The worry is, if a singular kill goes Loiter's way, he could put that Viper's Pit into play, but that's a lot of ifs and buts.
He's got the right weapon for it. The bandit up close, snake bite in, player on him, the fire rate's good, but CNET just about survives until Ninja has something to say about it. Dropping his teammate. But look what BBL have to work with.
Yeah.
Hunter's Fury that's not going to be committed. I mean, unless they've lost their damn
30
mind.
seconds left.
They need some pig. Hey, the Hunter's Fury's in. They've sent it. Rose is a madman, and he's found his kill. The Hunter's Fury lands. Laroc's flank finds one, no, two, and now 7. Mere moments later, is all alone. The walls closing in on him, and it's a crunch from Rose to put BBL up to 12. A ludicrous commitment with what they had. A man disadvantage, weaponry not in their favor. And he throws the Hunter's Fury through. It makes all the difference.
That's situational brilliance from Rose, honestly. That is him realizing, okay, Larocque is behind. Larocque has the rifle. If he just walks in, they're going to be ready. They're going to be watching that angle. There's going to be so much left that has to be disrupted. I throw in a Hunter's Fury. I displace 1 or 2 people. He maybe gets a freebie. He maybe gets an individual fight. The fact that Rose got a kill is just a little bit of luck that I think goes a long way. 100%. But then the fact that you saw the player on site on the pillar was not looking in any direction. They were just trying to dodge the ult. That's a free kill. And obviously then the second one is just Larocque being Larocque.
Now 3 chances to close this out. Rose he's brought the Odin in. It's a dirty tactic, but we love to see it in play. But the B site is still the target. Even with that Viper's pit up, the decision from Pacific is to wrap around. Already, though, CNET's going to be caught by the trip, giving away the play. The cage blocks sight, makes us very uncomfortable for them to get anywhere near the site. Kraven in danger of the spams after the reveal. Lover's Rock hiding in that corner as well. They've dropped Kraven, but they don't know about this snake in the grass. And Lover's Rock strikes for 1, Loida for another, keeping the numbers even. And with 7 tagged low, this could very easily be another BBL round, be the last BBL round of the map for Pacific. Back up against the wall, and the plant still needs to be found.
They still have both controllers standing. That might give them an opportunity to at least create a little bit of additional space. And all 3 players coming in from the same angle. On that defensive side, no flank this time to worry about. But there is a wraparound coming in on the attack. A double sort of layer, the pressure all being put onto Alorante, but the cross is being held. It's being watched for, though. They're ready for that mid-pick. Alorante on the site has done well. Already clearing out 1. Instant headshot on the second, and now Rose, well, an Odin clutch will be the cherry on top of the cake, but he's not even going to go for it. Saving the gun. A solid post plant once again from Pacific. And they have brought things back to just 2 rounds. OT is definitely possible.
A really remarkable recovery from how this game started, where it did very much like
it should have been over 15 minutes ago.
100% more, perhaps. The start of this game looked like a tier 1 team playing a tier 2 team. That's what I would expect to see.
It depends which tier 2 team you're talking about.
That's true. That's true. And for BB, hey, listen, good recovery already. Let's see how much more they've got in the tank.
Well, we've seen it before, where a team comes in. I think BBL was a great example last year, where a lot of it is people looking to make a comeback, or maybe being one of the last people to be picked up overall. Like, this team was literally announced yesterday.
Yeah.
Which, come on, Pacific. You've known who you had a little bit longer than that. But, yeah, to see them already looking this good versus a team we expected to absolutely batter them is a good sign going forward. It's whether or not they can now go that little bit further. Can they take this to OT? Can they take their opponent's map choice and show a truly impressive attack side?
You know, very much shake up the meta as well in terms of the comp they're bringing to it. I like what we've seen from Pacific so far, but 2 more in a row. No room for error anymore, and they're moving towards the A site. Cupid sending it out towards B. I don't know if this is going to be a fake, a use of the paranoia, or if he's just clearing that space that BBL have been keen to take in the past. Cam broken, it's all making noise, but if he goes out there without his weapon drawn, it could be an easy pick for Lover's Rock. The op misses him, and now the play towards A, but it's being read by BBL. 4 players in position, ready for this blitz. BBL, they've outthought them. All they have to do now is land those shots and one after another go in their favor.
Patience might just pay off. LaRock in the corner. He should have been a dead man for quite a while, but he's going to survive the round. It is an in-zone flawless to close. It took BBL quite a bit longer than expected to get that one. Only looking to try and make sure his team gets the skin.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's why we've got you, Tom, for the background info.
That's why Mini did it as well.
Yeah.
And he got a lot of kills, so there you go.
Yeah.
Really is boosting them now, but
Putting in the work.
I like it. The amount of delay we saw yesterday was fantastic. I will say I'm a big fan of the Yoru melee. I think it's nasty on this map. I think DRX showed exactly how it can be utilized, and I don't blame anybody for yonking that.
No, without a doubt. That double dive was terrifying on the attack side. To start out in the defense, BBL, well, they look just as scary as any comp could. Cupert's left alone, a 1 versus 5. And again, you know, you think back to that last map, it was a very, very strong start for BBL. Although they slowed down in the end. No, well, I would say more so that Pacific warmed up. They were getting disrespected, they were getting ran down on, and then they started to play the game. Let's hope it doesn't take that same kind of warm-up period here.
He's managed to get one at least, but he's being swarmed the entire time. Solid start for BBL, more importantly, a solid start for Lovers Rock. I think, as I said, like this guy getting the Yoru early is always going to be terrifying, but he is straight in to that Outlaw, just looking to try and farm things up. And if they get off, this is the thing, if they get off to the same start as they did on the last map, it's probably going to end the same way. Eventually, they'll have something to get them over the line. And I'd be more worried, if anything, because I think that this comp is so good at getting you in on the attack side that I eventually believe they'll win it out in the post plant.
Well, for Pacific, it's down to those classics. You got Ninja coming in, Sheriff in hand, but the rest very much underarmed. Lovers Rock inside a smoke with an Outlaw. The hip fire gets him one, I believe, and then he's straight on out of there. Nicely done. It's a risk, but one that's clearly paid off this time around.
Well, the interesting thing as well, going into the comp on the other side, is we already saw it early. Obviously, it was only Cupid left alive. But the composition that's being run from Pacific is actually a bit worrying for one reason alone. And it is that we saw in the defense how aggressive BBL were willing to be. You no longer have that sort of backline protection. You don't have any utility that's going to be just, oh, this bit is locked off, no one can get past here, we don't have to worry about this. And so they're going to have a lot of global control across the map to consistently keep an eye on everything. They do have the double initiator for that, but that kind of has fallen out of fashion, at least a little bit recently, and we'll see if that bites them. It's always also going to put an awful lot of pressure onto CNED to get them info on the entry. And yes, that was an in-zone flawless. That's why I talked through it, because it was so ridiculously clean.
Yeah, as it should have been, I suppose, from the very get-go. So very nice stuff for BBL. A convincing second round, tagged onto a strong pistol.
Yeah, he's one up ult, by the way.
And Lovers Rock one away indeed. That could make it much easier to get back into a site play in those retakes, if they even need that. Rifles out for Pacific, and this is where I don't want to hear any bark. I just want to see the bite. This squad needs to do damage. The BBL will be off to another flying start.
I feel like I've seen that before. Just he was on the other side. But that's the problem. We're seeing that individual brilliance from LaRock, but this time he actually has something to get him out. Dash nowadays kind of sucks on Jet, but it's very good on the waylay. And they are just getting slammed! It is almost whitewash again. Not quite the flawless this time around, but you might as well think it was. 4 players standing in a bonus round, Mitch. Yeah, this is more dominant than last time, and well, this time Rose hasn't really had to do anything.
Yeah, the usual suspects. 8-0 start from Lovers Rock. Couldn't even believe my eyes looking down at that.
Wait, did he even get the kill in that round? No, he did. He got one.
At the end. Okay.
It was the other 2 that he got everything.
Yeah, at this point, for Pacific, it's a bit of a stinker.
That was a buy round, by the way. Just in case.
Really
I could understand if people went, oh, was that just Classics again?
No.
They do Classics twice in a row.
Now they're on the Classics. Now they're on the Sheriff. And now they should be on a 4-0 deficit for Pacific. It's all about the next one. We're doing some damage here, but the economy, to be honest, actually at this point, you need that damage. The economy's getting out of control for BBL. The confidence is there in droves. LaRock has taken 4. I mean, it's only the pistols, but
Bro.
My God, I wanted some damage from Pacific, and they get nothing. Everybody's got full shields at the end.
That was an in-zone flawless, by the way.
Oh,
just in case you're wondering. In-zone flawless.
They didn't take damage.
Another one.
One enemy
Yeah,
remaining.
no, this
No,
has
one
been-
bullet.
So in the last one, there was a few players dying here and there in these rounds. So although it was dominant, it wasn't quite like this. Yeah, Larok, just in case you're also wondering, Lovers Rock and Larok both have their ultimates for this
Eyes
round.
up.
They have 2 deaths on the entire team, and if everyone went into that round on 1 HP, they still would have won. Flawlessly.
They're both Larok.
Well,
They got their ultimates.
Pacific's map pick, guys. It's going to bounce back, don't you worry. It is early days. It's just the context of the previous map, and then thinking if BBL keep their foot on the gas, if Pacific don't find their magic formula, and right now, we need a miracle formula. The 5th round being sought after by BBL, and off in the hands of Lovers Rock. And look, here's my other issue. They're playing so passive here. This is where BBL in the previous map were like, all right, let's start just swinging, let's get aggressive, let's take fights. But now, Lovers Rock has the opportunity with the op, and everyone else is sitting back, letting Pacific make mistakes. Letting them run that clock down.
Where the cam is. There you go. You found it. It's deep within B main. So you can see Krevin is currently not even on the site. A lot of that is also because he doesn't want to get hit by the 9. It doesn't want to give anything over, but it might start getting into his head that, okay, he hasn't had anything to do just yet. Already early rotation, but maybe a little bit of a mystery. But a lot of that is because of the deep control that Larok has already taken. Maybe a little bit wary of middle. And he has
30
himself that
seconds left.
convergence path available to just basically stop their whole push in its tracks.
Loida down to start with, making some headway here for Pacific is
Spike
7.
down, B.
Definitely the standout on
There's
their
still 2
squad
here, though.
in the previous, but that rotation, that over-rotation you said it could have
player
been.
standing.
Well, it's been dealt with.
10
Every
seconds
single
left.
player dropped by 7. He's got 4 under his belt
Spike
as
planted.
Larok moves to the smoke. Cupert, it's a big risk to walk through here. 3v1. You should win the round off time alone, running that clock down, but everyone's taking their individual fights. If you're looking to give Larok an opportunity, this is it. Luckily, he won't be punishing to start with. The stun doesn't land on the players in the corner. The shot to start is straight on 7's head. Ace denied, but the round won't be. Pacific finally on the board.
Yeah, he was great in the last map as well, but you can definitely see some of the individual brilliance he's bringing from this squad. Crispy aim to get them their first round, basically just trading off of everybody else, making sure that he swings in time. That will be their first round onto the board, but we have to see whether or not that's the start of something or just a blip, because more important, Valorant had a great first map, quiet right now, and seen at 0 and 5 on the board. As I said, it's going to be tough for him. Like, he's the solo duelist. It's not a 1-2 punch. He basically has to dive in and, well, try not to die, but ultimately, if it comes to it, die to get the information for the team.
Well, they're moving straight into that angle. It was being jump spotted with the TP. Loida sees nothing. Now Larok goes walkabouts. Refract online. He can get out, but his teammate can't. Loida caught in the open is punished. A nice start for Pacific. Again, it's 7 on those entries. A few good rounds from him, and it's giving hope to Pacific. Rose desperately trying to steal that hope away. 7 not out of the round yet. He's on his knees, but he's right back into the fight. Pacific will find themselves a post plant. 5v4. Hold on. BBL are getting ahead of it. Ult's already sent through. In comes convergence path. Rose good for 1. Krevin on another. It's chaos.
Down
And
A.
BBL thriving inside it. Ninja started without a weapon, but recovers 1 and puts the numbers back even.
And the operator still just
Last
holding the
player
angle, but a
standing.
nice double from Valorant. His 3rd of the round, and as said, he was yet to get himself onto the board before this, but now is there to close it here. Solid stuff. And I really love the sort of layers of utility we saw there from Pacific. The sort of opening flash to get them that battle, the fallback, then the paranoia was sent in to catch him as he goes away, the salvos, the trap him as he tries to escape. Like, they were very reactive and very quick with all their util. But the attempted retake was also really nice from BBL, that ultimate combo that they were saving for such a long time. It's just Valorant at the end, that double headshot that turns the round in their favor. And surprisingly, it's going to be an early time. It's just when they're losing the early fights, as they were for the first 4 rounds, well, what's your Brimmy going to do?
Exactly. Got to get him in a position, set him up to succeed. For Pacific, Rifles out, and a fight on mid being sought after. Lover's Rock is waiting here. Gate crash, not even halfway gone. He's got so much time to play with. The drone will be broken, he knows now. Blood in the water. The reposition to up top, it's dangerous. CNET's good to find one, and he's pushed them all back out of middle. A refract and the gate crash taken. Great work by CNET.
Yeah, his first kill on the board, but with their climb back already beginning, it's not a bad position to be in. Obviously, the credits that were there for BBL, they're not really in any trouble even now. The operator in hand for Lover's Rock, and well, that's who they'd be walking into if they were to head towards this B site. The A site left a little bit more open, and it seems like there's going to be an attempt to try find the gap. Ninja walks up, but then Lover's Rock, because of that TP, actually goes moving the other way. They are just catching them with rotation. Even still, though, Loiter will survive for now. Now they head back in that direction. Loiter might just be able to catch him, though. Timing here is going to be absolutely everything. He's waiting for the fight, but now he looks to delay them. 25 seconds left as they want to try and run into this site. Loiter under serious pressure, but he dodged the knife. Can use the paranoia to slow them down, allow for a rotation. He's done excellent work, but it's not enough. 7 once again with a high impact triple. And Pacific, well, the calls were good, but it did nearly fall apart if it wasn't for that multi-frag.
Yeah, which again, he's been so reliable in. Pacific, they got these two players putting in the legwork in those big moments. Set up well by CNET to start out, as I said. Getting spot on mid, moving up top stairs and fragging from there. Sending all that mid control back into the hands of Pacific, and from there, they get to strike into that A site, but this would not have been an easy round. We're up for 7, 4-3 on the scoreboard. Pacific climb back very early on. Despite 4 dominant rounds that we've seen from BBL, Pacific, they've recovered early, and 7 again is able to pull them back in. Very nicely done.
Yeah, I thought LaRock has managed to escape that one, but I think he just placed his refract a little bit too far forward, and because of that, they were able to get him with the spam. This is a full rotation. Obviously, for BBL, this is a bit of a weak buy, so the gambles are going to be a lot heavier. The B site, all that's left is the utility of Kraven, and still a wide net being thrown out. That's the only thing with these sort of heavy fakes, that if BBL were to just stick to their guns, they might be able to hold on to this. But now the cam's been shot, this is the thing. It is just potentially another ruse. They don't know if their opponents are just committing directly into that site, and then they're seeing utility thrown in on A, so they stick to where they're going. But it is just a fake. Eventually, the B site will be where they walk in, and I don't think they're going to know until the tripwire is
30
shot.
seconds
That'll
left.
be the moment that they figure out that they're on the wrong side.
Go ahead. Stand your ground.
On the upside, dodging a lot of utility that will be coming your way.
This is where they go now.
Another rush over from BBL. And a Bucky, not going to be the most useful. Hunter's Fury available. Again, normally I would say they're not going to use it. I know how Rose likes to throw them in for retakes.
There's no flank this time, man.
You would think they need a pick, and that was almost it. 7 on 77 HP as he runs for the hills. Lover's Rock drops him. Hunter's Fury now in the back of your mind, and it's going to be popped here and now. Alorante strikes just in time, though, and with Lover's Rock down, it's only Kraven to follow up on this furious Hunter's bow, but nothing to land for BBL. A very strong start to this map. Now sees them neck and neck with Pacific.
Yeah, like the calls that Pacific are going for, especially in low buy rounds, are definitely a bit risky. Like going into a site with 10, 15 seconds left. There could have been a stack there, but I like the way that they're playing with those rotations. Constantly, like, sort of breaking the cam, pausing for a long time, then you see the paranoia throw in, and that's where you kind of go, okay, if you're BBL, you think that you're going into a fake. You think that you've gambled correctly, and Pacific are now on the other side of the map. It's smart stuff. Here goes those aggressive swings once again. Oh, I thought for a second he was going to lose his TP, and then he would have just fallen straight off the bat, but Lover's Rock escapes in time, and he's back in position once again.
Strike down A.
Very well handled, the cam in the chaos. Now a storm brewing on the side of Pacific as they've lost 2 players, but 7 has crept into the smoke. This could pull them back in. He could be the one to breathe life back into this round for Pacific again! 7 is unstoppable. The A site now under threat as the spike wraps up from middle. This is ludicrous! CNET's got the spike and he's got a double! A mad round from Pacific, but it's worked out wonderfully with Kreven in a 1v3, and he's been spotted too.
Ah, that's unfortunate. All the sneakiness of this round has dissipated, and he's definitely been the man to have a rough time so far in this game. Looking for Ninja, might just get that one, but while 4 HP and 2 to find, the rest are already scurrying away back to the site. They don't need to fight this, they don't need to risk it. Maybe if they knew how low he was, they would. It's CNET to close things out. And honestly, if that, I don't think that was the plan from the get-go. If your plan was for the spike to lurk through mid, then Cupid, we need to have words. I think then you've lost the plot. But the fact that in the moment they were able to just create magic.
You see me, yo, you see me, KO lurking!
KO lurking inside the smoke on that A site. On a pedestal, and for good reason. He's shooting down on them. 5 on the board.
He's now joined Lovers Rock and Larocque.
Yeah.
Like from the start of the game where there was like 8-0, 7-2, something like that. This has been a massive turnaround.
5 in a row. Now, I'll tell you what, he is definitely stunned by that one. Nowhere to go for Kreven. And this is a round where there's already weaknesses for BBL, but those 2 rifles still surviving. Larocque primed and ready to pounce this. Oh no! The reveal! He had the shots, they landed for so much damage, but no kill. The same story with Cupid, who ends up with 2, and Lovers Rock. He's all alone now. The man looking for a flank a little bit earlier on. He's TP'd over. He's with his buddy. Well, he's with his buddy's corpses.
Spike planted.
And he's going to try to...
He'll be with them soon.
He'll be sent straight to them. Look, damage done on Cupid and Valorant, but the first challenge is from CNET, locking in an in-zone flawless. Pacific, we're 4-0 down. They are now 6-4 in the lead. Remarkable.
Yeah, it seems like everything they're doing is paying off. The risks, the fakes, the individual plays.
Oh,
sure.
Okay. I've been teased, I see.
Yeah, sure, 7 has been the mantle behind it, but everybody's had their moments thus far. And for BBL, I think as many, they will have come into this game expecting to dominate. Definitely confident, but it's now starting to fall apart. Now a 6-6 scoreline wouldn't be bad for them whatsoever, other than the method in which they got there. However, the way that Pacific have been winning these rounds, and well, you could see the reactions. I'm sure there was another there, 7. That's another open of him. He has been insane.
That was really nicely done as well, using both salvos in that early contact towards A main, knowing that that's a spot that BBL are looking to fight for, and knowing that Larocque's fallback will be just around the corner, that you can salvo as well. It's caused a lot of problems, forced him out in the open, gave a pick away now to Pacific. Also means the BBL don't have the convergence path to work with, which is going to be very useful on a retake. For Pacific, their chance now to extend that lead 7-4 as they move through mid, but they're going straight into Rose and Loida.
Dash in.
Standing ahead.
Rose will kick things off. A lot of pressure from utility. The span's got to be careful. There's another player around the corner. Kreven with 1, Loiter another. 7 trying his best to trade him a wall forward. The push through the smoke. Well, it now leaves just 1 standing.
30 seconds
Valorant caught. And even a wrap around behind him. Not really anywhere left for him to go other than to try and fight them for the spike. It's not like the economy is in any way, shape or form a worry for Pacific in the next round, so he's got to try and go for this, but at this point the clock's already gone.
10 seconds
I guess
left.
he was maybe expecting someone to try and rotate, but it really doesn't matter anymore. It's all about damage. Is he going to take anything away? To be honest, I'm waiting to see if he ever goes for a fight. Taking the spike at this point is a little bit pointless.
Well, he'll get nothing for his trouble, but the orb for the death. And the final round of the half about to play out. There you see the salvo sent through. 7 after jump peeking the first corner to send that player back. Now comes swinging in to push him out of the corner he retreated to. CNED clearly frustrated with how some of that played out. For Pacific, pause the Technica before we jump into round number 12.
Going in against a team maybe you didn't expect to beat,
This is a nice
and you're going into a game where everybody expects you to lose. So you can just have fun. You can take risks. You can play comps that are a little bit weird, and your opponent has to try and deal with that. And I think they're doing all of that excellently.
Well, that's a hell of a reveal, but not much to come off the back of it. Lovers Rock going deep, and he keeps on going. Another down for Lovers Rock. They're trying to push him out of position, but LaRock comes in to help CNED from the window. Finally puts an end to that madness. And the advantage back in the hands of Pacific with Krevin again on his own. A 1 versus 2 this time, a much more manageable issue. But the complete lack of information goes both ways. They don't know where he's coming
Spike
from.
planted.
He doesn't know where they're gone.
The thing is, they can have an educated guess. They're so deep already and seeing nothing this far. And even if he was fully within the A site, by now they would have spotted something towards mid, something towards the spawn. And that's why they're
For CNED to go walkabouts, huge play from BBL. They faked that B site beautifully. Where Pacific now are scrambling. They don't know where it's coming in.
we call that spot Boaster, right? Back on those stairs all the way in the spawn. I think he's played that one a few times. Yeah. His little lurk spot, but yeah, that's worked out wonderfully. Making a gap. A site very open, but they are pushing back towards B once again. It's the pump fake, going back into the same position once more, and it's something the Pacific have read pretty well. They've spotted out exactly where one of them is, but they haven't managed to deal with 7 again, looking to take over. The trades back from Valorant, even better, from a deficit to an advantage in a matter of seconds. Look where the spike is. It now needs to be retrieved.
30 seconds left.
Cubert's wrapped around the window as well. Their eye's going to be drawn by him as Valorant comes back in for more. Low HP on the rock and the body shot enough to close it out. Nicely done. Great distraction from Cupert, but phenomenal shots from Valorant across the board.
God, as I said, like, I think this defensive side is normally where you expect to see that Brimmy really have the impact, like much more into his almost classic Sentinel role. You got utility to try and delay them, and then just that pure raw aim that we've seen from Valorant for a long, long time in the Tier 2. There was a reason he was on Focus and Mouse and even Heretics back in the day. Very different looking Heretics roster to the one you see now, but he has been around the block, that's for sure. And for a quote-unquote Tier 2 player, that he's always been talked about in the sense of being here.
Yeah. And when it comes to, said he's been around the block, when it comes to buzz around his name, you know, he used to have a little, now he's got a lot. See how much he can really do at this level over the next few months. An easy round presented to Pacific, and they make it look easy. An in-zone flawless found up against the Pistols, as it should be. Everything going to plan. And for Pacific, with a 4-round lead now, after last map, after the start to this one, they've got to be feeling like this game is already theirs.
Well, yeah, winning 9 of the last 10 rounds, it really does paint a bleak picture for the side of BBL. already. They walked out with their opponent's trophy. They're now looking to try and walk out what many thought was the opponent's win. An escape plan of sorts for Cupid, even though he was slowed. This bonus round definitely has some legs to it. A few rifles in the mix along with the SMG. Maybe not the man I'd put the SMG on, but I do wonder if maybe there's a sheriff or something for 7 to back it up, because he's been so clean with it. You also just have to talk about, will BBL now be feeling the pressure?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we saw them on the previous map slow down, but then lock in towards the end. Once the pressure really started to mount up. Whether that's the case here or not really comes down to this round. Pacific will have so much runway to work with if they take this across the line. It's already started out with a tag onto Rose. He's down to 77. It's the B site overrun. The A site falls. Hubert's being dropped by what could be a lurk. From Pacific's perspective, they have no idea if that's the case, but they're making the right gamble, moving towards this B site. Oh, the refract! It drew Laroc's attention away. Valorant is able to drop the second man, not expected. But the same can be said on the side of BBL, as they're able to get the plant in now in a 4v3.
Managed to get ahead of a few things, but it's the player in the window that could be a problem. Cena, he's not quite able to bypass Lover's Rock. A nice shot, though, from Ninja. He wanted to take the long-range battle with the pistol instead of the sniper. An interesting choice, but it has worked out. This is where the Stinger kind of...
sorry? Slaps?
Slaps, yeah. No, I wasn't going to say sucks. I don't know how that's worked, but hey, he'll take it all day long. This is starting to get a little bit dangerous. It is only 7 remaining, but only 7 has been enough for quite a few rounds. Even just as a bonus, a chance to make this costly. A rifle retrieved, but he's just looking for the exits now. Looking to try and do some real damage, and damage he will do. It's a round for BBL, but a very, very costly one.
Yeah, look, when the guy is 20-9 on the other side, pops off like that, punishes you, makes you lose every weapon you came into the round with, where you're talking about how many you can carry through. I think it's a round win, but it doesn't necessarily feel like one. No. As now the pressure is on.
Of course you are gonna make them die, bro. Of course you are gonna let them.
CNED's hyping him up. 7's looking good, and now a chance for Pacific. If they win this,
CNED pumped up. That's when you know you're doing well.
The thing is, winning this now means that BBL will have no money. So this is almost a worst-case scenario for BBL if they can't connect the 2 victories in a row.
Honestly, a lot of teams wouldn't buy here. They would go for pistols. They would go for something like risky or aggressive in terms of like maybe you dive in with SMG, because this really is a damning position to try and come back from it. It'll be a full reset of your economy.
You'll have one more buy round.
Tony's down.
So this really is an all or nothing feeling, and it kind of does feel like what this game has been like. BBL trying to break out of the cycle, which is the Pacific win streak.
And they are close to some things that could help out. I think especially for Rose, an orb, a plant, a pick will give him that Hunter's Fury, which has already swayed a lot of rounds in retakes. Beautiful opening with CNED down. Man advantage now for BBL. The few bits of weaknesses here or there stop mattering as much. And if they can group, take control, and get that Hunter's Fury post plant, this round might already be over. Pacific, they've gambled. They've gotten up close, and Valorante's been spotted. Huge wide swing. This should be done. And with Laroc's triple, I think that should cement it.
Yeah, we're kind of back to where we were at the beginning of the map. Laroc just finding a triple kill. It's almost feeling a little bit more like the Foot was in their game versus Mates, though. You're very, very reliant on those individuals popping off, and if not, well, it does just feel like the game falls apart. But that's the lifeline. That's exactly what BBL needed. A huge individual round from Laroc, the guy that has been promised for the Tier 1 for a couple of years now, showing exactly why. But it's not too damning for Pacific. I do think like an unfortunate position, especially when you have that outlaw in play in middle. Kind of expected a little bit more from Cena, but sometimes someone runs at you and domes you. There's not too much you can do about that. And then I think unfortunate timing. The players pushing on main, a little bit whiffy from Valorant, which is not something I've said throughout this game so far.
Yeah, I'll give you this though, you know, from his perspective, hiding in that corner, he doesn't think he's been seen, and then Loida wide swings him by about 3 kilometers. I think that's an understandable surprise element for him to have to face off against. And indeed, now here's Lovers Rock, 19 years old, and a Michael Jordan fan. You can talk to him about that.
Yeah, no, I definitely. Oh, you can. You know,
can
you're
ask him
such
about
a.
Scotty
Go on.
Pimpin'.
No, nope, definitely not. Definitely not. Moving swiftly on. Yeah, that is not his name. Definitely not his name. Anyway, yeah, he's someone that again.
2 in a row. A big performance.
I need a drop.
It could have been a very shaky start to the second half, and it very well could have been Pearl's setup already. But instead, here we are, round 17. Attack side for BBL. Couple weaknesses, but Lovers Rock coming in with an Outlaw, the Hunter's Fury, and a Convergence path online for the attack side. This is either, I mean, the thing is, you can use either of those to get into a site or in a post plant. A lot of opportunity for Pacific. They've at least got their orbital strike. Finding I feel like it'll be more situational on that defensive side to find a high value place to use it.
Yeah. The thing that worries me a little bit is obviously Pacific's comp revolves around, you get a lot of information. You have the drone, you have the knife, you have the constant ability to re-aggress. What? Oh, I thought for a second he was going to catch a time. But the double dive can sometimes negate all of that because you can just all in at any moment. And that's exactly what this is here. 3 players in the right place at the right time for Pacific. The trades already coming back, but that's okay. Pacific already have the man advantage, just not on the site. They need to wait for the cavalry to arrive. Cena trying to play defensively. Ninja to bit with the incredible takedown both. Now that advantage goes back the other way. 7 desperately trying to get in there quickly. Don't allow them to have those post-plant positions, and he's being revealed, but he doesn't care. Still just W-keying it towards the site.
Nowhere to run! Oh, Hunter's Fury got outside the range of the knife. Orbital Strike will be sent through to try to punish, but no players pulled out by that. Big bit of aggression from Loida. He's on the site. That's huge. Denying the defuse. And Valorant being found in the open. But the clock here could be his biggest enemy with Rose dropped so quickly, though. It looks like that won't be a problem.
No.
Not playing the clock, not winning the fight, and BBL now trailing by 3 as a result.
Rebel Clutch coming out for Valorant is someone that, again, in those late round scenarios has been good. I do wonder maybe if that was a miscom, because Rose just walked straight out into the open. I can only assume that he thought the guy was already on site, and because of his position, he would have had to run all the way around. So he was thinking, okay, I need to cross here. But that...
Big side!
Yeah. I have a feeling something might have been miscom there, because just how angry both of them were. It definitely seemed like that, because the way he walked out at the end was weird, from our point of view.
Yeah, definitely. You can see the frustration from Rose. Hunter's Fury was put in the last round, so now we're back to just the convergence path. But a hell of an ultimate it can be.
Oh,
The Rock sends it through, pushes them off the site. Deep control taken with the TP. Now Lovers Rock ready to battle up close. He's gone inside the smoke. The flash could come out at any moment, but he backs off. Moving instead to the site. Post plant will be from main. They're ready for Pacific to come knocking on that door any moment. With the null command already in, here it comes. Great flash! The Rock's still able to get one though, making this costly in the way through.
He's back.
7's right back into the game as well. A 5 versus 4 as Loida surrounded now, but he's got a teammate with him. Lovers Rock holds on, gets that gate crash out of there right as Cupid arrives, and the time continues to tick. The defenders needing to get on that, and now inside the smoke, it's underway. Rose needs to land a miracle shot through the smoke, and he's too late to the party.
Yeah, I really love the Flood back in on that retake. They were so quick with everything. Like, forced out of the site in the early take. That was what BBL wanted. They wanted a post plant. They wanted a post plant with space. But the second you see that rush back through before they can get into positions, it just becomes impossible for them to find anything. The hold not good enough. But it was mainly just the disruptive nature of that retake. And you can see
CNED when he opens the round, CNED when he clutches, just the same picture.
Well, the good thing as well is he's doing that, like, CNED is hyped up while not performing, which was never really the case.
No,
like,
never.
If he was having a good game, yeah, maybe he cracks a smile. But when he's having a bad game, you would know about it. But in this case, it doesn't seem like he cares. The team's winning is good for CNED. And while they are winning, 2 rounds away from taking their map choice and moving us on to Pearl.
A big accolade early on. Deep aggression from Pacific as well. That's caught Kreven off guard. Again, like I say, not afraid to play a little crazy sometimes, but they've lost CNET towards that A site. Lovers Rock with a big pick and a gate crash to get right back to his team. It drags some players off of B, which has left Cupid isolated for a moment. Luckily, Seven's here in time to save the day. The man's getting more and more every time. A 3K here to put Pacific onto 12. Look at him. He's losing his mind down there, and I'm not surprised. He looks like he's smurfing on the Tier 1 stage.
Yeah, 27-10. The team that, finished second
One enemy round B.
over in America's Ascension, well, one of the players from there is currently... he's currently farming the team that won EMEA Ascension. 27-10.
We've created a new rule, haven't we? Like, we always have this, when it's a clutch, always observe the one player. When Seven's about to take a fight, always observe him, because he's insane.
Yeah.
This is his easiest job of your life. Let's go.
Nice. Gonna survive just about. He took a dink in the process. Trying to put the pressure on. That was almost a panic ult just to try and keep himself alive. Lovers Rock has been able to do that. 5 in a row needed, and from anything I've seen in this second half, I don't believe. There's nothing that has made me think that BBL are going to be able to turn this around other than individual brilliance. That's about it.
Well, they used to say belief is everything, right? I don't know if it carries over, but...
I don't think so. I don't think that's this team.
Well, maybe it will be. They can make this 5 rounds in a row right back. A belief in this would be something else entirely for Pacific.
But they've already got all the info.
Just got to tee it in, and rotations seem to already be underway. Even putting the drone through on mid, just to be sure. It's not a late play mid through A. Now they can rotate a little bit quicker, and their BBL are taking so long to hit B.
Yeah. Alorante waiting.
30 seconds left.
Nice shot from Cupid as well. This puts Alorante under pressure, but he still found one for his troubles. A decent trade from Rose. There's CNET as well. Just up from above, and the ultimate being put through to give him that additional space, taking the site back before they could even get the plant down, and there's no way out of this one. 13-7, a bounce back from Pacific, and already after, I'm going to be saying, he's been insane so far, and yeah, it's difficult to keep it up. I think especially with this double duelist, the Sage is just annoying. Like, you can keep slowing down the Neon, you can keep putting walls up to basically block these super aggro plays. And while speaking of super aggro plays, BBL are pushing up mid, but it's solo. Yeah, I was about to say, LaRock is taking a bit of a risk because it seems like Pacific have been perfectly happy to just wait at the beginning of a lot of these rounds just to catch those sort of aggressive plays.
Look at the sneaky play by Alorante. He's caught Kreven completely off guard. And it's not even like Pacific are going off the back of that. They're now waiting. And it's the right call with 3 players towards B. They want space elsewhere, assuming those rotations have come through. And Alorante, he's got the rotations back to A. He's heard 2 going. Now they push into the B site, knowing that whoever's there should be on their own. It's a free pick onto Loida, a wall that isolates an angle deep on site that Ninja can pounce on the back of. This is a really nice pistol from Pacific so far. And finally, a blow will be dealt. Damage onto a player as CNET goes low, but LaRock finds himself alone to finish his dinner. And it's a big plate on front of him. 4 players left even after he's taken down 7.
Another solid round for Pacific. The push and pull that they have, constantly baiting in aggression from their opponents, and then the crossfires left at the end. The second they get into the post plant, you have to feel confident in this team. And yeah, it feels like BBR are almost falling for all of the traps that are being said. Like, we make a little bit of sound, we put a bit of pressure, and then they're just trying to put too much into, okay, I've got to now take space. I've got to go into this position because we've lost this position. I need to take here. And there's just a player waiting there from Pacific every single time. Like, the amount of free kills we've seen in the last couple of maps where BBR are so convinced they're doing one thing and the opponents are doing the complete opposite.
You know, the mental game's certainly been in play so far. A 1-0 start for Pacific, pistols in play for BBL, but they've decided to gang up towards this A site. Strength in numbers, perhaps even safety. We'll see. As BBL look to execute straight out into A main. A lot of players waiting there from Pacific. But the slow down, it's not going to be an easy push. Straight into the meat blender, head first as Ninja picks up the triple. And finally, a kill will come in on the other side. Hey, that's something. And, 4 more to drop. The question of damage, I suppose, now in play.
It's whether or not he can
Spike
drop any of those
planted.
weapons. Likelihood is slim. It would have to be a whiff shot or 2. And I think there's one. Even just the heals coming in. Nice shot onto Ninja at least. Anything more would be impressive. And well, they're going to at least manage to keep all of the rifles through to the next round. It's the bare minimum, you'd say, for Pacific and for BBL. A couple of extra orbs here and there. But I kind of do feel like BBL need to get back on the horse a little bit earlier, because the last map, it just felt like after those first 4 rounds, they almost just choked out the rest of the map. And I think if Pacific get a good start, well, think if they got a good start back on map number 1, they might have 2-0'd this.
Without a doubt. Yeah, I mean, that first half of Breeze was so damning that we didn't even think there was a game to play.
It feels like it was about a week ago.
It does.
I'll be honest with you.
And I think the reality is, for them to bounce back is remarkable in and of itself. Now, immediately, this slow has caused some problems.
They were
Luckily,
both
deep
seized
smoke
as
on
well.
the other side. That's going to stop any capitalization, but slow down that takeover. A, usually players would rotate out already. Luckily, you've got the gate crash to immediately send Lover's Rock to the B site. And from now, this is fine. BBL have fought for some early control. They've pushed Pacific back, and it's the attackers that need to now make a move with no real info to play off.
And they managed to clear out a lot of this early side for utility. And that seems to be the aim of the game so far for Pacific. Just try and bait out any util early and then make a decision. They've been happy to execute late. Kreven, though, he's just decided to try and take things into his own hands. Fights aggressively. Wall to block things off. They can now make the sprint back towards the site, and there's no real chance for a flank to come in behind them. At least not very quickly. Loiter in a good position, though, and the crossfire is magnificent. Lover's Rock and Loiter thriving as they look to try and push in. And, well, Cupid's left to try and clutch this one out. They are not going to jump peek that again.
Even with that opening fight not going their way, Kreven falling towards Connector, I like what they were setting themselves up for. BBL obviously reading into the fact that an early play from Pacific in the pistol was to make a little bit of noise and then exploit that space towards the double door, and thinking that maybe they'll do it now that they're on that low buy. They stack up numbers there. They're ready for the fight. The bonus is being denied any real impact as a result. Again, even though the first fight went their way, I think very nicely done from BBL. And just to add to that, the fact that they decide, I think it was Loida who was in connector deeper. As soon as Kreven falls here, Loida leaves and sets up this crossfire on site. That was the right call.
But that has been, I feel like, something missing, especially in the last map. Like, it felt like a lot of what they were doing was, I'm going to make a play. I'm going to do this. This was much more of like a, let's play this together.
Yeah,
let's
exactly.
get that crossfire set up. And I think that's probably what Coach Key was sort of hammering home in the break, that like, yeah, sure, Pacific called a fantastic game. Great individual plays, but there were also moments where you felt like BBL lost themselves the map as well.
Well, BBL have gone for, again, a lot of aggression towards A main. 3 players there, and it seems like a lot of commitment. Last time, they had the gate crash towards B to fall back on. So that sort of spreads out the numbers a little bit more evenly. This time, though, it's sitting inside or at the back of the A site. So putting a lot of resources towards this side of the map, while Pacific are trying to figure out where BBL have battened down the hatches. Prowler on B, players poking and prodding on mid. They're going to re-clear A main late as well.
Right there.
They haven't really got anything to work with on the side of Pacific, but it seems like they're making the right read to move this towards A.
Yeah, I think for the BBL, you have that aggression because you want to, like, if you play on the sites against a Nightfall, there's going to be a lot of angles that are just cleared out by the attack almost for free. So you get aggro one side and you leave the other side empty. But they've not come into any resistance because of how slow Pacific are playing, and now they're going to get that same execute anyway. But there you go. They can avoid that Nightfall, or somewhat avoid it. He can fall back and at least get himself out of there and play for the retake, and then the full squad will be in, just trying to delay as much as humanly possible. And they have actually managed to stop the plant going down.
They've done really well. BBL responded to every piece of info sent their way. Ninja's already down. Good spam from LaRock. Gets a second. This is clean for BBL. Half the players they're not even seeing. As Cubert eventually finds one, there's 6 seconds left. The spike's not being picked up. They have to stick to plant, and they can't even get close. Very nicely done by BBL. Again, I think there's a number of moments here where they're playing a main aggression at the start. They go back, they clear art, then they go towards the double doors because that's where Pacific have found that weakness before.
Yeah.
It's what they've tried to leverage, and it was even faked out by the Yoru there. So it felt like BBL were being taken by the hand down the wrong lane. They were being misled by that information, and yet they then quickly make the adjustment to realize something's wrong here. Stack up that A site, get the numbers in there on time.
I think
Really
it was
nice.
just clever as well, though, just like looking at the ult on the other side and going, we can't play in the site.
Exactly.
Like on either side
Let's
of the
go
map,
mid, let's go R.
both sides, the site was empty. They were like, okay, we're going to continuously rotate, allow ourselves that space, and then the rock spams were perfect. To get 2 kills of players you can't see, it's easier. Well, it looks easy when he does it, but it really isn't. And well, that's a big punish for Pacific. That was them coming in with 2 fairly high impact ults, obviously the res fairly situational, and rifles, and now they're right back to the pistols once again. I do wonder when is the moment the Pacific pick up the pace, because I feel like they were able to punish in the last map by being this slow, but if their opponents are not giving them those fights, which, look again, they're not, you now need to pick up the pace to force them into some decisions, otherwise that util is going to be held for a long, long time.
Usually you get the Cypher around here. This time it's going to be Laroc. Luckily, there's a stun from Astra and from him, but then he goes back into the angle, up against pistols. This is crazy. He's giving them the best fight, the dream duel for a gang of pistols rounding the corner. Rose does well to find 2, but again, these feel like fights we shouldn't be giving. And with the res coming into play, now there's 2 rifles for cover and a man advantage to work with. Pacific are right back into this round, but they're under pressure, and they need to deal with Lover's Rock right away. He finds one, he gets out. That's a big problem.
This is what he does best. Just making it impossible to trade him, and that was something they desperately needed in that moment. Flash is even going through the trip. It's just going to have to be ignored because they need to get that plant in, but that allows Lover's Rock again just to reposition. Not gambling anything. They still haven't been able to destroy that piece of utility. The questions were asked of the Cypher has helped them out massively. But that's a Lover's Rock round. That's a prime example of what I was talking about earlier. That is a safe pair of hands who still gets 3 kills.
It is a Lover's Rock round. He plays it perfectly. But the fingerprint here from Laroc is so funny. The fact that there's a Sage Wall coming into play from the attackers to block the spams means that there's a gap that they can walk around the backup. So they're so worried about that dead man spams that they end up giving an avenue for this squad to fight right back through. I think an
also,
unfortunate
that
scenario.
Trip, by the way, is just disgusting.
Yeah, just
like you can see them spamming. Like, where the hell has he put this? I can't break it. That's irritating to say the least. And well, again, they're a little bit worried that maybe that previous map was going to sort of cause problems for BBL, but 3 in a row after the pistol and follow-up, building a decent economy, and again, fighting for this early control, fighting for the orb. That's the Hunter's Fury online. And that's the other thing. They haven't had to use any of their ults in these last few rounds. They have just been building them up over time.
Now a plethora of safety nets to fall back on for BBL. They can play patient.
They can't allow Laroc to keep this space. I feel like that's something that... I understand that running into that is running into the blender, but when he can cut off a big half of the map, that really does box them in.
The other thing you're worried about is the AWP that was there in so many of these initial round starts. Lover's Rock has been there to take that fight. This time he's moved over towards the B site. Benefit of the gate crash and the quick rotations, but only good for one. Putting the pressure instead onto Loida, but Kreven, he comes through to help out. He's dodged the Prowler. He's found one. A little bit more with Loida by his side. And Alorante is all alone. The world against him. It's a fight he's not looking to take. Saving this weapon now. Perhaps the goal. Although I see him moving towards the spawn. He's got a fight on his hands, whether he likes it or not.
left.
And it's Kreven on the angle. Who will fall. Perhaps a chance.
Yeah, the problem is just the amount of time on the clock, and he's going to assume already that the majority of players are already there just waiting.
And there was an AWP before on that
Yeah,
angle, so now he's going to take it without smokes. Good luck.
It's not really worth the weapon, especially when you look at the economy that they have.
10 seconds
Your
left.
lurking player left, but yeah, I think BBL made some fantastic adaptations over the last couple of rounds. Like, once the play was spotted, you saw the immediate movement to just double up that crossfire, and as said, like in previous map, we were talking about them over-facing individually, taking 1v1s. Even on Breeze, they were doing the same, but they were so far in the lead that you kind of forgive it a little bit more. This is where you're seeing that structure that we've kind of come to expect from the side of BBL. They are a bunch of youngsters. They are a couple of 18, 19-year-olds that are just going to take crazy firefights. But when things go wrong, then you get this. You get the structure. You get the fallback plan, which the coach down here, they're taking those proactive pauses. I think Leader as well, I don't think he's the sort of person, but like, he will look at the positives if they lose, but before they lose, he doesn't care.
Exactly, yeah. I do think for BBL, though, as well, learning how to lose at this level is going to be a big thing. If they have to. You never know.
Yeah. Hey, they lost how to lose a map, and then now they're in a position where it's like, okay,
that's enough
let's
learning.
not do that again. I didn't like that.
I've learned what it's like, and I'd like to forget. But for Pacific, rifles and a slow approach here on the attack, they have to be cautious. Remember that operator picking them on B last time, but again, it's towards A now. It's going to constantly be moving around the map, and so they have to be very, very conscious of what risks they're taking on this attack.
He hit Ninja there. He traced where he thought the Prowler was coming from and almost managed to kill him. Swing. Patience from Seven, waiting on the edge of the trip. Starting to piece things together. Lovers Rock's position, though. This is what I said about them, allowing them that main control. Is something you really can't do a lot of the time. How much can he get? That's already one, and now he even has the get out of jail free card. He can just look to try and give information. Knows there's only a singular player here, and they've lost the B site. That's the thing, they weren't just sitting pretty. A nice clear, though, gives them that man advantage. Cena trying to lurk on the back line where he's going to be revealed. A high-impact ultimate in the Neural Theft will mean that there's only 3 players on the site itself, and while Cena trying to find a fight.
That's the problem with him giving those fights on the A side. Kraven's already taken Cena down. Cupid and Ninja to do it all. Ninja stuck in the corner, finds one, but now he's boxed in, and he cannot fight his way out. Another round for BBL, climbing up further into the lead.
It. He's fully giving it after that round.
I didn't hear what he said, but I could hear him from outside my headphones.
Yeah.
Bleeding in. That's impressive down on that stage, the reach up here.
That's the problem. I'd said it a couple of rounds ago. You allow them to have that A main control, and then it did, like, okay, you can try and swing into Lover's Rock there, but
Oh, I heard it that time.
Yeah, he said, I think you guys should stay seated.
I believe that is, yes, and a translation of what he said.
Yes.
A paraphrase, so to speak, but...
I translate from, well,
vulgarity.
English to the Queen's English.
Yes. English vulgarity to English office speak.
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
exactly.
very nice. Very good job there, Tom. 5-2. Round number 8 sees rifles in play for one team. Ninja's gone for a Guardian. The rest of the squad, a couple of upgraded pistols. You got the 3 Sheriffs in play. Timing, not great for Lover's Rock. Could have been a pick. He's forced back now instead. Again, I'm drawn to this fight on the double doors, Tom. BBL up against the pistols. They've been keen to take a lot of risks towards double doors. Just look where Kraven is. I mean, now he's backed off, but both himself and Loida were tucked in that little corner there. And that's risky as hell.
Minute gone. Oh, he's not able to escape this time.
Right here.
Tried to duck away from it. Rose is also holding on to the angle. A lot of the time, Lover's Rock is seen alone, but they don't want to try and put too much here. Loiter is waiting in the second. Yeah, immediately. Smoke up. We'll just look to delay them as much as possible. Pull the rotation in. His teammates just about going to get there in time. Kraven waiting and watching, but it's only now that the third is getting into play. Seven trying to make his way, but the cage would give away a lot of the noise. It's not perfect, but Kraven is there to pick up the pieces. Nice work. Had a quieter prior map, but he's definitely looking like he's having his moments in this one.
I love that target selection at the end. He swings out, aims at the player, goes, oh no, my teammate's got him. I'll take the other guy. No problem at all. Quick adjustment. They take them both down like it's an execution. 6-2 for BBL. But I think the big part of this round is the fact that Kraven, not only in the end getting that impact, but had that trap online in Art. So yes, they get a pick there. They're trading out that battle. But when the trip goes up, and nobody breaks it, BBL immediately rotate out.
Yeah.
They're worried about to push through double doors, and then they go to spawn and move on to that B site, already ready for the battle. They did really well to set themselves up for that.
Is where they finally challenge for that aim control. It's a little bit worrying, and they've lost the rest of the map. It's almost like BBL had the perfect read. It's like, okay, they're finally going to try and deal with that position. Let's all push mid. Let's start getting a little bit risky in Lover's Rock again. It's looking like they might just be slaughtered. CNED's done well. He's going to get traded out immediately. And for Valorant, okay, I didn't expect him to win that one. Ninja as well has caught the rotation. What was looking like a potential dominant round from BBL now comes back. Now this lockdown, it doesn't clear everything.
Rose has the angle.
Face your
That
fear.
wall along, there we go. He has to be pushed back by the ultimate. Otherwise, that was a big gamble on a player with 56 HP. That shock dart was so close. This one's bouncing. But Valorant dodges them both. The shots of Loida, though, they land flawlessly. And Ninja, maybe with no hope, he has to walk through that smoke or wait for it to fade. 30 seconds. And they'll start to think maybe he came mid. He might have wrapped around. You know, that ult came through. What if he's gone through the spawn? But
It seems they know.
they do, for now at least, hold the same angle. 20 on the clock. He could have went back to mid, but they are still certain that he'll come through that smoke, and for good reason. 7 on the board now. BBL, it's not the first time I'll say this, but they're running away with this first half.
Yeah, it's if anything, it's a little bit more concerning than the last, because at least there was blips rather than just the pistol in the second round, but this has been fairly dominant in the manner they've done it. I'm also just, I don't know if Ninja thought there was somebody coming in from behind, but it seemed like the two players in that clutch were just not on the same page. Alorante's trying to plant, and the other player is just trapped out.
One of those ones, Saturn Peaches. Those were fire, bro. You introduced me to a whole different, thing.
I think that was like 3-4 years ago?
No, that would have been like 5 probably at this point.
Okay.
Early days.
Good to know you remember the last fruit was 5 years ago.
Well, no, I mean, I've eaten a Saturn Peach since then. That's when I got addicted to Saturn Peaches. Real beautiful. Oh, CNED. He almost had it, but Lover's Rock disappears, and now CNED does too, but not to safety. Oh, a sacrificial lamb. The whole squad seems to be. Valorant doing his best, but it's just not good enough when it's the entirety of BBL that you need to take down. 8-2 now for this squad. The defense looking flawless.
This might be a bold thing to say considering the players that we have in the league. I genuinely think the player that we most annoying to play against is Lover's Rock. Because, like, I would say a solid, like, 90% of the time he gets a kill, he's gone. Like, you can't trade him. Like, I think I can think of once where they've managed to insta-trade him. And that was with the pistol, and he tried to duck and immediately TP, and they caught him in the last split second. There, he's being run at by an ult. Yeah. He shoots the guy behind, he's gone. And again, look.
Can you imagine how good it feels to be Lover's Rock, to come into this league, and then the devs are like, yeah, we're going to actually make it easier for offers to have impact. We're going to take away some of that pesky initiation utility. And this guy is just having the time of his life out here. An unbelievable debut on that stage. Well, with the EMEA colors.
Yeah.
He's been technically down there.
Yeah.
But
he was the
there before.
top fragger in their fight. So he knows what it's like to get a lot of kills with an operator on that stage. And yeah, as you said, since then they've helped him out.
And it is something incredibly rewarding to watch a player like that really hitting his stride, finding that impact so early on in his career, because how much further can he take it? I mean, you think about being down on that stage, playing on those PCs, on those screens, it takes a while to get used to. And they've come in looking like this is their second home. Maybe even the first home.
Yeah. The story that was always told was that he had probably some of the biggest boots to fill.
Yeah.
A man talked about as a prodigy, and he has filled those boots incredibly well. Still alive on the site, looking to try and deal more damage. Oh, he's going to get out of there just in time. I feel like he maybe could have got more, but that's the thing. Look at the weapons on the other side. He doesn't need to take a gamble, take a risk. In fact, he's got that dimensional drift just to try and give his teammates exactly what they need. Nice shots from Loiter and Cupid. All he can really hope to do is slow them down. Any utility he could place will only buy so much time. Immediately has to use a piece of it, just trying to get himself a little bit of extra space. And actually, there's not really anybody watching from the angle he's coming from. That's a good chance! 2 already found! It's a missed shot of 2 on the other side, but unfortunately couldn't quite close out what would have been a miracle clutch. A very nice try. But the round still ticks over for BBL.
Oh, it's going to be heartbreaking being that close to, again, a breakout round for Pacific. I hope this, oh, yes! Oh, he's so good at the game, man. We saw that from the perspective of the second guy he killed, and it looked more outrageous, to be honest. Spinning on a dime for Cupid, the IGL down there. He's been having some great rounds, but that one would have taken, in the series, not in this map, but that one would have taken the cake.
What sound did think he just made?
Not sure I want to answer that question. I plead the fifth. The Pacific 2 rounds on the board.
Heard Zesh make that one.
The team who has the most dominant scoreline of the match so far on Abyss, 13-7. Pacific made it look easy. They dismantled BBL, but now the shoe is very much on the other foot.
Yeah, I think they've got the shoe, the tracksuit bottoms, the jersey, the hat. Like, it really isn't. Let's just say the first half of map 1 and the first half of this map are looking very similar. In fact, we might end up with the same scoreline if Pacific can win a round. They won rounds 1 and 2. This has been 9 in a row. And I can't think of any of those 9, other than maybe the Cupid clutch a few seconds ago, that looked like they were going to win it.
Yep. Yeah, and even then, Cupid was, really fighting an uphill battle. In the rain, in the muck. For Pacific, third round. It's what they want, and they've started out well. LaRock dealt with off, posted on the angle. CNED might have seen a hair from Lover's Rock's head there. Lover's Rock makes it out. Hunter's Fury good for the first. Oh, Ninja jumped back into it. Tried to bait him out. Big tag. Ninja gets brought back, but in goes Lover's Rock now. Posted on the angle, and he'll catch Ninja a second time. The spam from Rose finds another. And the off now Prime for a little bit more. As CNED needs a 1v3. A spike plant amongst it, and he's got no time. It's going to be Lover's Rock to put 10 on the board for BBL.
Ah, what a recovery in that round, especially. Super impressive. 10 in a row. We were questioning after the pistol and second round if they would be able to come back after the last map defeat. They have. Well, let's see if Pacific can do the same in the second half. The duelist that just doesn't die. Yeah. Like as I said, he's got to be one of, if not the most irritating player to play against. He is just Houdini. Like, you see him for a second, you're either dead or he's gone.
Well, the next generation of Turkish talent up against the old guard of CNED. And in a pound-to-pound comparison, granted, it was the attack side for Pacific. If we saw CNED playing defensive off for a whole half, maybe it would be a different game. But it ain't a different game. The one we're looking at right now, Lover's Rock, is drawing all the eyes and X's over the face of his opposition. Pacific, 2 on the board. Losing this pistol probably means losing their first series on that stage.
Yeah, and they won the last pistol, and it still didn't make a difference. Yeah. So
2-0 up.
It's a lifeline, if they can get it. They've been decent in these pistol rounds, but it's safe to say the buy rounds have firmly gone the way of BBL in this map. Bandit Purge. So we're not seeing too much of the new weapons so far, here and there, but not so much in pistol rounds. We'll see if LaRock can show us why people should start buying it. There isn't any head armor anyway, so he's going to be finding himself a little bit extra. CNED's there to start. So the push is looking to go in the other direction. They've left the lurk of Kreven as well to try and catch them on the rotation. It is that initial site take, looking for the plant, but Cupid's going to deny an audacious place to even try and plant in. The spams have been fantastic, leaving Loiter, and well, just no time. There's no way he gets a plant down here, and he may survive a little longer than expected, but it's Cupid that gives them a lifeline.
10-3 for Pacific. Indeed, as you said, Tom, it is a lifeline delivered. They're going to need to be close to flawless from this point forward. But the first step has taken them in the right direction. As you said, a very nice round from Cupid here in the pistol. Bringing him up towards the top of the board, and I think that's been the problem for Pacific. They have
That's not a good sign.
Yeah, if a 3K can bring you from the bottom to almost the top, we are in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Unless everybody's got like 20. Hey,
or unless it's round 1.
Sure, yeah. That effect is fine there. And it is round 1 of the half, but not of the map. So for Pacific, we need to see them find that confidence. Because, again, for me, I understand it won't be the same for the players, but for me, this is a team that can bomb out of kickoff as long as they bounce back stronger, as long as they're learning, as long as they're improving. But I want to see the promise. And in the first 2 maps, we did. It was late coming in on Breeze. It was there from the start on Abyss. And hell, if slow starts, like if they manage to, again, climb back a bit and slow starts are the biggest problem, that's fine. Just don't lose to the pistols up close again with the Judge. And then lose the round. Don't lose the round as well. Great job, Ninja.
Spike down A. One enemy remaining.
Oh, there you go. You can be happy. I'll let you take this one away. I'm sure.
Phenomenal work, really.
Loiter's not going to lose to Timmy the Turret, but he might lose to Valorant the Turret.
He has the human turret. Strikes again. His Pacific bring us up to 4 now. 4 to 10. It's a big old gap. It's not an easy one to work with necessarily, but this round here is where it could start. You do come in with a lot of promise, I'll be honest. Like Bulldogs, a Spectre, and an Outlaw. It is a mixed bag. Throw in a Sheriff. Pacific are playing for the next. They're playing for it to be 11-4. For it to be a strong economy.
So that's your friend, right?
Yes. That's
okay. Just checking.
That's my duo.
Placing swap
And the reality is it's not a round that they should win, but they have a lot of promise in it. Revealing area. Outlaw. A few shots landing from that can completely turn the tide into Pacific's favor.
I got a question.
Damage is the name of the game. Yes.
How many times do you think Pacific has managed to get the A orb?
In the first half?
In any?
Spike down
I'm thinking it's 0. Or maybe 1.
Yeah, I don't remember on the attack. They often gave up A main. They took an initial fight and the utility sent them back. Deep Astra smoke stopped them from pushing through.
It seems like BBL they got it on the attack side as well. They're just running it, taking it early. It doesn't matter. Obviously, the early pick is way more important, but I do think that's just been almost free ult economy throughout this game so far for BBL. A big part of their game plan and something I wonder if it's going to be pressured. Sage Wall will slow them down, but they're pretty happy to wait this one out. Cupid, he doesn't have to worry just yet, but the second that wall breaks, which will be soon, he doesn't really have the weapon for this.
He's heard them though. 3 players breaking it, plain as day. They know this is an A hit. He's got safe inside the smoke now, looking to take the fight up close, but it's the Outlaw CNED that I'm worried about. That man is going to have a tough fight. Smoked off, walled off, and there's not much that he can do. They left the player on site isolated as Cupid falls. Now Pacific have to think about the retake. They're not going to deny that plant, but they have taken down the Rock. Numbers advantage back in their favor. Lovers Rock looks to recover though. It's a deep play from Lovers Rock. A triple under his belt already. And with Ninja, the last man standing, he's found the disappearing man, Houdini, in front of him. As Lovers Rock goes back towards main and now baits him into a fight. He shot there. He gave away his position. He wants the battle with the 50 HP Ninja, and it's Lovers Rock to win it out, to push BBL closer to that finish line, 11-4 on map number 3.
He's 25-8. Like, a lot of the beginning of this round, again, it was a solid start. I think Cena did a fantastic job getting openers with the Outlaw, but this was just disgusting. And then just the confidence at the end. We talk about how he's always repositioning, always taking different fights. That one was, I am standing here, try and kill me. And he couldn't.
I also don't think he knew it was 50 HP, because unless I'm mistaken, he was the only player to do damage to him. So he lit him up in the earlier fight, and then just went, screw it, come find me, bro. Come find me. I don't care. I can play time, but I don't want to. I love that attitude, and it really is just, as I said, BBL are a team that came in and said, we are better. We can beat you individually. I don't care. And Lovers Rock's embodying that right now. He's going to stick that TP. Of course he is. The ult into the spawn. He's taking down CNET from behind. He's overran the B site, and now he's gate crashed out of there.
He took his up. He took his up. He went in with a rifle, went, I'll have that, disappeared, and now he's got the up locked in. I wonder if they'll even realize that it's gone. And that might just be a nasty surprise. They look to come back into the site, and Operator trying to hold from the heavens of smoke will lock them out at least a little bit. For Pacific, this is everything. They desperately need this round, and Loiter's just playing from afar, but up close is Rose within the smoke, dancing with death, and he's taken them all down. Only Ninja remains, and well, that's about the only hope he has, is if he could Ninja defuse, and that's not happening. Just forced into a retreat. Another BBL round, another beginning of a streak, and it is looking like the only rounds Pacific are going to get are the pistol and the second.
Oh, that's really sad, especially it being the third map. You know, I would expect Breeze to be somewhere that, it being the pick of BBL, Pacific are caught off guard, the new map back in the pool, but they came in with a new composition, new ideas, and those ideas were pretty good.
Okay, I will say, that C-Net shot was utterly disgusting, but he didn't know there was a man
Got
behind him.
executed immediately.
And got robbed.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think for Pacific at this stage, like the performance on Breeze, the ideas they've had, how well they played Abyss as well on the push and pull front. Some risky plays in there as well. It was fun to watch. To see them now completely fall apart on the third map is really underwhelming. But it is good to know that they have that potential. We've seen the ceiling is high. But here on Pearl, maybe we need to bring that floor up.
Yeah, I think also it's better for me to see a team go into their map choice and look very good. Yeah, it means that the prep that they've done is good. It means like with time you should see that extend to other maps. I think as well, it's clear that the calling coming out of Cooper is solid because it's their attack side. Their attack sides have been great. Yep. That's why I was a bit more worried on this map when their attack side got wrecked, because on the other two maps they didn't do particularly well on the defense, because that's going to be more down to structure. That's going to be built over time. So once the synergy picks up, that's where my expectations will grow there. For having a good attack just means, okay, fundamentally, there's something there. Maybe they're not quite on the level of a team that's been together at least as 4 for 2 years, which, that's fair enough.
I will find it within myself to forgive them for that, Tom.
Yeah.
Generous as I am.
That's just because he's your friend, isn't it?
It's just because he's my mate. Otherwise, it's on sight.
You'd never forgive, Enzo.
Oh, goodness gracious. C-Net. He's ran out.
Don't.
Oh my goodness. The slide around from LaRock is madness.
Can you forgive Cooper for that?
Oh, it's going to take some time and a lot of love.
Oh no. LaRock should be dead. LaRock should be dead twice.
Oh.
The only problem is the time here. The Spike needs to now hightail it to the side.
10 seconds left.
Run!
Yeah, he's fine.
Put the smoke down, man. Plant the spike! Okay,
that's the cockiest I've ever seen anything. It doesn't even get it planted in the end. Lovers Rock just goes, well, I'll do this one myself. And that was the entirety of the map. What a map from Lovers Rock.